Election attorney Sidney Powell is having a tough go of it. She's facing literally billions of dollars in defamation lawsuits, possible disbarment in some of the states where she is licensed to practice. And the ironic part of all of this is that she could have avoided 100% of this had she simply read one single memo. And that memo, by the way, came from the Trump campaign itself telling her, and this was shortly after the 2020 election, the memo told her that everything she's saying about election fraud is not true. And then, of course, the Trump campaign fired her. Do you know how wrong and stupid you have to be for the Trump campaign to fire you? To actually write you a memo saying everything you're saying is false. So they fire her, but they keep Rudy Giuliani, even after his disastrous 4 seasons total landscaping press conference. Like, that was okay, but what Sidney Powell was saying was just way too out there? That's crazy. And that is apparently what the Trump campaign thought about Sidney Powell. But she didn't read that memo. Allegedly, as far as we know, as far as the court filings show, because yes, this memo debunking everything she says has now been filed in at least 2 different court cases that Sidney Powell is facing. One to recoup costs from having to defend these idiotic election lawsuits, another from an individual claiming defamation. This is pretty big evidence against you, Sidney Powell, when even the people you were working for said that what you're saying is totally false. That doesn't bode well for any of your future lawsuits. But this story is not actually about Sidney Powell, is it? Nah, you got to read behind the headlines, folks. Sure, the memo from the Trump campaign was directed at Sidney Powell saying your election fraud claims are bogus. But what about the dude at the top, right? What about Donald Trump himself? He's been making claims of election fraud. He's been saying that everything was rigged against him. He's been going after these companies, the voting machine companies. He's been smart enough not to mention them by name, by the way, which has kept him out of the defamation suits for now. But your own campaign has already said this is false. This memo from the Trump campaign saying that the claims of election fraud were fraud themselves, this should be big news. This should be covered on every major outlet that has ever talked about possible election fraud. This debunks everything because the people at the heart of it all already said none of it's true. So take note of that, Fox News, Newsmax, One America, the rest of you idiots out there still pushing these conspiracy theories. Even the Trump campaign itself knew that all of this was false. And I sincerely hope that this message gets across to some of those Republicans out there, the average voters who still think this election was stolen. The people you're fighting for and lying on behalf of have already admitted it wasn't stolen. So maybe you ought to listen to them. Ring of Fire has fresh content 7 days a week, so if you want to be reminded about it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell to be notified every time a new video goes up.